Hey, going to do a quick tour of the community garden for this new channel that I just created, and hopefully the wind won't be too bad. I'm doing this on a cell phone, so between the wind and trains going by and church bells and stuff, we'll see what kind of background noise there is. Hopefully you'll be able to understand me. Anyway, this is the community garden that is in Marion, Arkansas. It was started this last year, and a local pastor, James Hudson, had went to the city council meetings for several months and basically wore them down, I guess, and convinced them to let us use some city land in his initial vision, just to plant a big plot of greens that anybody could come pick, and that has been done, and you'll see that some of that in a second. But we're also expanding it out even more than that, maybe trying to grow stuff year-round that will grow here, use it as an educational space, get people interested in gardening, school kids. I've already got a 5th grade class from a school about 2 blocks away that is not only starting to come out when the weather's good about once a week, but I actually go into their classroom an additional 1 day a week to give them a little bit of gardening type instruction along permaculture lines. So it's a global community magnet school, so we try to tie all that in. Anyway, the garden is right behind the police station. So there's Highway 77 next to the railroad tracks, the police station, and then if you come right below it, behind it, you'll have the garden. We have 2 city blocks, two city blocks, we have 2 city lots that were house lots. So you see the slab of what used to be a house here in the driveway. So we've got quite a bit of land here, a lot that we could do with this. The city did actually put water in for us that we do not have to pay for, and at the moment there's not a lock on it. If the water use starts to become a problem, then we'll put a lock on it. But that is one source of water for us. I have been getting lately leaves, lots and lots of loads of leaves that I have been spreading all over. And if you saw the other video, you saw that in some places my foot disappears into it. A lot of the leaves I am spreading around as a deep mulch, as part of the way to try to just knock down the grass so we don't even have to mow. Save the city a little bit of money if they don't have to mow it. It will also just help build the soil, insulate it. Hopefully we'll have plenty of the worms and other organisms come up and really start loosening the soil through the winter and ongoing after that. My goal is to try to not till whatsoever, if at all possible, here, and instead let the mulches and organic material and soil organisms do that for us, do rotational stuff. This particular pile, I had, instead of spreading it, it was already getting hot within a couple days after it being dropped off. So I've turned it once. I've not added anything to it, any water or anything. And if you notice, and it's been sitting here cooking for probably, I don't know, I turned that at least a week and a half, 2 weeks ago, and it is still nice and hot. This pile, if you see right there, I just turned that literally last night. So I left a little bit after dark and had that one turned, so we'll see if it heats up. I've got my shovel and a bucket with me today. I'm going to be digging out some soil. I'm taking kind of an online soil class, and so I've got a homework assignment I need to do for that, and it's through edX. It's a university in the Netherlands. It's a free course. You can take it for free, but if you give them $50 and you get a certificate at the end that kind of verifies, and there's a few more tests and stuff you take to get that certificate and stuff. So I'm going through that. This little structure, kind of protecting the wind, kind of protecting, has got a few greens and stuff in there. This spinach, radishes, peas, carrots. There's some walking onions. We'll see if those come up in here. And this is part of what that 5th grade class is taking. It's supposed to be taking over and doing. Got some straw bales there breaking down. We'll either try to grow in those a little bit or just use them as mulch as well. We've got a few concrete blocks here, and try to get a bunch more, and I plan on putting in at least one compost pile right kind of in that little area right there. It's a little bit flatter and it's kind of central to the whole garden. These beds, these long beds, are the newest ones that I've built. Everything here is filled with just leaves and or wood chips. We have not hauled in any kind of dirt or soil or anything like that. It's just organic material, scraps, whatever we can find for free is what we've got in here. And just letting it all break down. This bed is the largest bed. I've got, we have a few garlic on the end. There's a few carrots in there. We've got a kind of a cover crop with a mix of daikon radishes, winter rye, and stuff in there. And I may actually end up harvesting some of the daikons just because I like them. But that's kind of a cover crop there. Got a few carrots in there. There's some Swiss chard. There's some arugula. There's some more garlic. We had, I think, close to 3,000 or 5,000 square foot of greens, with kale back on the back, mustard greens in the middle, and turnips here. And I've already pulled out probably 6 or 7 rows of the turnips. The ones that were big enough, I actually took them home and eaten on those, and the rest, everything else, I'm just kind of left lying there and covering up with the leaves. I still got more to do there. There's some decent sized turnips in here. They may be getting almost too big, but there's some decent sized turnips in here. The greens, the mustard greens, they're starting to bolt, and I'm kind of hoping that eventually those will get chopped down and then covered. Hopefully we won't end up tilling them, but I'm going to try to let those go to seed and see how much seed I can save from those. That way we won't have to buy any next year, and just as part of the whole educational thing, be saving our own seed. There are 2 black walnut trees here, and if you're not familiar with what happens with black walnut trees, they put out a chemical called juglone that can negatively impact, if not kill, a lot of different plants, especially our garden plants and stuff. And I don't know if you can tell or not, but especially right in here, that's not part of that. It may be because it's a low area, but part of it is because it may be right next to this black walnut. And I'll probably stop right here because of the train. Second one in about 15 minutes. Okay, that train went by, and I'm sure we'll get another one here very shortly. But anyway, so I've gotten my shovel out and dug a hole, and we'll see if you can see this or not. And if you can see the color, the change in the topsoil down to kind of the more of a clay, it looks like maybe 5 or 6 inches at least of topsoil. Now this is all lawn. It has not been worked. Nothing's happened to it besides mowing it for, I'm not really sure how many years. So the soil seems to be pretty good, and that's what I'm trying to protect, and also add even more. I mean, build it up, build the life in it. Right at the very top, there was a grub and a couple of worms and a beetle, so there's some life there. The lower layer is kind of a clay, and that's part of what this homework assignment I've got to do is I'm going to compare this against what's at my house. But there's this textural ways to estimate the percentage of clay, sand, and silt. I mean, you can look up in videos on how to do the jar test, where you dig this up, you mix it up, put some of it in a jar, a clear jar, fill it up with water, give it a really good shake, let it settle, and then you can check and kind of estimate how much of the three things, and that tells you what kind of soil you have: sandy loam, clay loam, something. But this is another way that you may be able to do that as far as by texture, and I'll do a separate video maybe on that. But anyway, so I've got that. I'm gonna go grab a couple of turnips, and I'm gonna head back to the house.